Good evening, and welcome to the Beacon of Life Cake Gala. We're so happy to have you here for our virtual event this year. This is the 40th anniversary of the Beacon of Life, and as we looked at putting Cake Gala together, we really wanted it to feel bigger and better than ever before. But as we all know, 2020 has its own plans. So we appreciate you sticking with us. We appreciate your support. We're feeling it here even though we can't all be together. And we appreciate so much you being involved as we changed gears and had to hold a virtual event. With that, things are going to look a little different this year, but we do want to make sure we're giving you a true Cake Gala experience. As you pull up your Givey app, you'll be able to participate in our silent auction and cake auction, so don't forget to bid on those. These will both end at the end of our program at 8 p.m. And if you're lucky enough to be a cake winner, we will be delivering those to you this evening, so save a little room for that. As you go into the Givey app, you'll also notice a third option, which is a fund and need option. This year, we've identified some furniture, kitchen items, and different things that the women of the house have expressed a need for that we think would really elevate their experience and help give them what they need at the house. So please do look at those fund and need options and feel free to contribute towards something tangible that will make a big impact for the women of the Beacon. As always, we will be voting on Cake of the Year. So as you go through those cake silent auction items, please be sure to note which ones are catching your eye, as you'll receive an email link at the end of the evening to cast your vote for Cake of the Year so that we can honor that donor and baker at our Cake Gala event next year. As always, tonight is a chance for us to highlight the mission of the Beacon of Life, to be able to teach our donors and sponsors a little bit more about what we do and how we do things, but mostly to celebrate our graduates. Tonight you will have the chance to hear from two honorees that have both completed the Beacon's program. Kathy and Zandra are excited to share their stories with you, and I'm excited for you to hear them as well, so stay tuned for that. We'd also be remiss if we didn't thank our sponsors. Our presenting sponsor this year is Nationwide. We've appreciated their support over the years, and they continue to do that for us. Our other corporate sponsors include Northwest Bank, Principal, Tito's, Freedom Financial Bank, Farm Bureau Financial Services, Two Men in a Truck, Wasker Door Wimmer Marcoulier, AmeriGroup, Omni Wealth Management, Amy Meyer Coldwell Banker, Viridian Credit Union, and Fidelity Bank. My name is Shannon Sobek. I'm so proud to have you all here. I've been a Beacon of Life board member for the last 3 years and involved with Cake Gala for the last 3 years as well. And as we've all know, this year has tossed us some curveballs, but we all appreciate your support. Now, as you settle in and get ready to take a look at those auction items, please enjoy some music from Bruce Day and the Dangits.
What's up, gang? Thank you so much for having us. As mentioned, we're Bruce Day, the Dangest, from right here in Des Moines. It is our pleasure and honor to be such part of such a beautiful event. We're here to raise some money. We're here to get this guitar tuned up.
I always feel like I should be doing something, like when you guys are tuning, I should tune, but I have nothing to tune. I just kind of pretend.
Your drums are from the future. They don't require tuning, right?
That's right.
This was a fun one. This one's called Spicy Mexican Burrito.
Thank you, Bruce Day and the Dangits, for providing some music for our event this evening. Hopefully, you got a chance to get up and dance like no one was watching, because no one was. So I hope that you enjoyed that. Just cutting back in quickly to remind you that we do still have our silent auction going on. You've got your cake auction as well. If you've been into the silent auction gallery, you've no doubt seen that we've got some amazing donations this year. We all know 2020 has changed how we get together and the things we want to do. Most of those things need to be outside, maybe small groups, but we've got some experiences that we think will be perfect for you. There is an Okoboji stay weekend that's out there, Friday to Monday, 3-night stay at a condo at Breezes Bay. There's also a golf bag set that Tito's has generously donated that comes with a lot of extra goodies so you can work on your golf game. And did anybody see that tailgating set with the charcoal grill and all of the wonderful things that we can use now that football's coming back starting tomorrow for the Hawkeyes? 2020 changes lots of things, and in our world, it wasn't just COVID. We had a lot of staff turnover this year. We've been blessed to have had Keisha Meisner as our executive director for the past 9 years with Beacon. She's been with us a long time, and new opportunities are going to come up, and it was sad to have to see her go, but we are very excited about what's next. Our new executive director, Melissa Vine, comes with a breadth of experience in this sector, and we are excited to welcome her in and see what she can do. But we would be remiss if we didn't thank Keisha for her time at the Beacon. Cake Gala was Keisha's idea. It started as a fundraiser that she's created when she first came in, and to get it to the place that it is now, we couldn't have done that without her. As well as Keisha's transition, we've also had several transitions with our case management staff, our RAs. If you walked into the Beacon now, we have a wonderful staff, but they're just not faces that have been with us very long. We're excited to see where everything goes, but that's why it was so special to us that Keisha was able to come back and do our honoree video this year, to make sure it was a face that they knew and someone whose support that they had had as they moved through the program. And we were just thrilled to be able to have her introduce those honorees. So it is my honor to introduce Keisha Meisner, our former director, who will introduce Zandra and Kathy to you.
Good evening. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for being here, well, at home tonight with us and celebrating Beacon of Life's 40th anniversary. What an accomplishment that is. Truly, it's been remarkable to be a part of Beacon for the last 9 years and to share in the successes of many of the women that we've served. It's no different this year than in years past that we get to share with you tonight stories of 2 women who have been incredible and have faced obstacles and overcome their struggles. I'm honored tonight to be able to introduce them. Tonight's honorees are Zandra and Kathy.
Before the Beacon, my life was out of control. I living in my car, using daily. It was bad.
Prior to being incarcerated in county jail, I would have said I was living the life I was supposed to be. Put my profile out on a dating site, and I got approached by a gentleman who met all of my criteria. And we started communicating, and he then ran into what he said was financial problems. And being the caring person that I am, I tried to help. And at the very end, he had had somebody send me money, and they sent it to an account that I had access to, but I was not the owner of. And by the time the money was recalled as fraudulent, the money was gone, and I was left holding the bag. And so I spent 8.5 months in county jail. I came into the house thinking that I was gonna do my year. I was gonna do the bare minimum they asked of me, and I was not gonna interact with anybody, and I was gonna get out and live my life again. My last house meeting, I cried because I was leaving family. It was a wonderful experience, and I stayed almost 2 years. I would have stayed longer, but they told me I had to leave.
One of my aha moments was that I can make mistakes and that the consequences aren't as worse as my doing. Another aha moment was just waking up and knowing after living life on an installment plan in prison that I can live free, I can be free, that people liked me, that I had it in me to change, that what I did didn't define me.
I really learned how to live within my means. I learned how to budget my money, make it last. I learned how to love myself, and I had to relearn to trust people because of the hurt I had been through. I started rebuilding my relationship with my father and my youngest brother.
It's going to be a challenge to fit in my children's lives again. I'm a lot better working through those things and not on drugs. You know, it's a thing in life where when you sedate yourself, you don't feel what you're going through. Well, now that I'm not high anymore, I live through the pain. I live through the stress of the day. And the Beacon taught me that I can make it, that I can do these things. When I think about the Beacon, I think about first responders. And I say that now because first responders risk their lives, and I think that that's a big part of what the Beacon staff did. Man, I'm telling you, when I had a problem, boy, even when I almost relapsed, I was able to go down there and talk to them about it, and not feel ashamed, and be open and honest, even if it was going to be consequences behind it. And I wasn't afraid anymore. There's so many moments. What really impressed me a lot was the volunteers there. The holidays, the volunteers that would bring presents there. The board members that would come and feed us with money out of their own pocket when the pandemic started. We never wanted for anything. Staff made sure that we had everything we needed, mentally and physically. The boutique that they have there supplied us with clothing. For a lot of women that's coming out in prison, we wanted love, and we got that. And we got that through a positive way, not from what we're used to. Oh man, I love them.
I loved it. It was the best place for me to heal. I came out of it a totally different person than when I went in. I got a job, a real job. I learned how to budget my money. I got a car. I built my own self-esteem back up to the point that I felt like I could stand on my own 2 feet. I built some friendships that'll last. I have my own apartment. I've gotten a promotion at McDonald's. I'm still able to pay all my own bills. I have money in the bank.
If someone would ask me if they could support the Beacon, I'd say most definitely. When, and I'll help you. A lot of people don't know about the Beacon and don't know what the women there go through and what the women there need to get back on their feet again. I even did that with my church. I went to my church and asked them to support the Beacon. My daughter supported the Beacon, brought gifts and stuff, yes. Hey, could be your daughter, could be your granddaughter, and they need all the help to change their lives.
It gives women a safe place to heal. It gives them a safe place to grow, to make their past be their past and rebuild their lives. You can volunteer your time, you can give your money, you can support the boutique. There's just all kinds of ways that it can be supported.
I'm gonna always be dedicated and to the Beacon and their staff. The Beacon's a lifesaver for people that take that chance to want to do something with their lives.
I'm making it.
I'm so honored that I was able to participate in the taping of Xander and Kathy's story. It was truly inspiring to get to hear from them their first-hand account of their journey and their experience at the Beacon. It reminded me of all the years that I spent there and everything that was accomplished during that time. I am truly overjoyed to be here supporting Melissa and her team tonight, and I'm quite honored that I have been able to pass off the torch to her. She has been doing an amazing job with this organization, and I can't wait to see what she does in years to come. Again, thank you for being here this evening, or at least being on your couch at home in your comfy sweatpants, but thank you for supporting the Beacon. They really need your support this year more than ever, and I hope you will consider, whether it's your time, talent, energy, or monetary gifts, I hope that you will consider a way that you can give to the Beacon this year. I want to give a personal thanks to all the board members, volunteers, staff that I have had the honor of serving with over the past 9 years. And I also am very excited, as I said, to see Melissa and her journey at the Beacon as well. Again, thanks for being here this evening.
Alrighty, thank you again to Keisha Meissner for doing our video with our honorees this year. We sure miss you, but we are so proud to know that we'll have your continued support as the Beacon moves forward. We also want to thank Kathy and Zandra for being so incredibly honest and vulnerable with us. Those are brave stories to have to share. We appreciate them taking the time to do that, and we are so fortunate to have gotten to watch them go through this journey and to come out on the other side, able to share in their successes as they move forward as well. As we move through our program, don't forget to keep bidding on those silent auction items and those cakes. Again, if you win a cake tonight, we have volunteers lined up to be able to deliver it straight to your door as soon as our program ends at 8, so be sure to get on that. I believe there's also a way to build a watch list on your Givey app if you haven't found that yet. So the items that you want to make sure that you get, please program those into a watch list, and they'll update you if you are no longer the top bid. But keep your eyes on those. Again, everything ends when the program ends tonight at 8 p.m. Our next speaker is our brand new executive director. We are so fortunate to have found Melissa Vine. She is uniquely equipped to take on this role with Beacon. Her background as a licensed mental health professional, social worker, and business owner just is everything that we need as we move into this next phase for the Beacon of Life, and we couldn't be more excited to see what she'll do. Her emphasis on evidence-based, trauma-informed, and equity-centered care is going to be the key for so much success with the women that we help, and we couldn't be prouder to have Melissa Vine as our executive director, and now she'd like to share a few words with you.
Hi, I'm Melissa Vine, the new Executive Director at Beacon of Life, and I'm honored to be here. Can I begin by saying thank you? I know that virtual events are not the most thrilling to attend. You're not here because you were just so excited to witness yet another attempt to virtually recreate what was once a meaningful live event, but we will do our best. If you are watching tonight, I'm guessing it's because you have a heart for the work that we do at Beacon of Life. Or you have a friend or family member that promised cake at the end of the night if you sit through our program. Even though I'm speaking to you through a screen, I hope that you can capture the spirit of the Beacon and the heart that we have for the work that happens here. I want to tell you a little bit about why I have a heart for the Beacon. I grew up in the suburbs of Des Moines, middle class. My parents were successful business owners. I married young, and we became successful business owners as well. But behind closed doors, there was domestic violence. So let me stop for a moment to explain to you what the cycle of abuse looks like. In the first phase, it's the honeymoon phase. This is when the compliments and the love and the adoration and the gifts are poured on, and the victim is made to feel amazing. And once there's a relationship established, it then moves into the tension building phase. This is when it starts to feel a little uncomfortable, some things don't add up, and you can sometimes feel like you're walking on eggshells. As the tension builds, we move into the violence or the acting out stage of the cycle. In this part, there is physical, emotional, mental, verbal, or sexual violence, which causes the victim to pull away from the relationship. So then the perpetrator or the abuser returns to the honeymoon phase. I'm so sorry, I'll never do it again. I'm going to change. I'm doing all these things. I love you so much. I can't live without you. And so the victim returns to the relationship, assured that there's hope that things will get better. And then we move into the tension phase again and into the violent and acting out stage. And the cycle continues and continues and continues until the victim becomes a shell of themselves. And when the victim reaches a point where they can no longer tolerate the back and forth behavior and the mistreatment, they get out. So I did. I got out. And overnight, I went from being wealthy to being in absolute poverty. For years, I raised 4 young boys on almost nothing and with no child support. I know many, many women have a story like mine. So the Beacon of Life works specifically with women because women's issues are unique. In a traumatized family or community, women and children are often the recipients of misplaced anger or resentment. So I identify with the women at the Beacon of Life. I identify with their traumatic pasts. But I also don't. When I hit bottom, I knew how to get out. I had hope. Because I had seen success modeled in my family and in my community. I knew to get a master's degree, to attend therapy, to become a therapist myself, how to get a prescription for antidepressants when I needed them, how to manage my money so I didn't go into debt, how to keep my credit score high, how to establish boundaries so that I didn't continue to experience trauma. People treated me with dignity, because I still had the nice clothes, the car, the house from my previous life. And I know how to navigate the middle-class world and act as though I still belonged in it. Plus, I'm white, and I'm straight, and I'm cisgender, and I could still look middle class. I could make it look like I fit in, even though I felt like such an outsider on the inside, and so full of shame about what had happened. What about women who feel ashamed on the inside, but don't have the privilege of fitting in on the outside? How does our community treat those women? With dignity? Usually not. Women who come from generational poverty, often with a background of abuse or trauma, don't know what resources are available for healing. So they do what they've seen modeled, turning to substances to numb the pain, or even selling them to escape poverty. And then we shame them and we put them in prison. If you take a traumatized woman who feels ashamed and you put her in prison, and then you tell her she's supposed to come out a better person, what kind of effect do you think that has? Friends, this is the Beacon of Life. That shaming someone will never heal them. But that unconditional positive regard makes room for everyone at the table. That is the beacon of life that we hold before these women. You are loved. You are accepted. You are welcome here. And with that message must come action. So the Beacon of Life provides housing, clothing, job training, access to higher education, one-on-one budget coaching, financial education, healthy relationships class, a coping and mental wellness class, case management, substance use support groups, education about shame and systems of oppression, and of course, fun activities. So my heart is that I want all women to have access to education and access to hope, because that's what I needed to recover from trauma, and that's what these women need. So the healing and growth that happens at the Beacon of Life is then infused into our community as these women graduate from our program. So I cannot thank you enough, Nationwide, our sponsors, our donors, for partnering with us in this work. We literally could not do this without you. Thank you.
Say hello to Nationwide, a company that cares.
We say that we're more than a business because it's true. At Nationwide, we work together to create lasting change in our communities. What makes us different from other companies is our focused approach to lending a hand and supporting communities across America. Nationwide has been fighting hunger for nearly 40 years.
We give to United Way, and the Nationwide Foundation matches our contributions. Volunteering is a big deal for us. Our passion for giving is recognized with time off, grants to our favorite organizations, and a Volunteer of the Year award celebration.
The Nationwide Foundation is a founding member of the American Red Cross Annual Disaster Giving Program. We help our partners prepare to meet emergency and basic needs in times of crisis or disaster.
I'm proud to work for Nationwide. We opened the first on-site American Red Cross Blood Donor Center at our headquarters. Giving blood has been a tradition at Nationwide since 1944, and today we work with blood partners across the country.
One cause close to our hearts is Nationwide Children's Hospital. The hospital provides life-saving care to more than 1 million kids from around the world, regardless of their ability to pay.
Through the support of the Nationwide Foundation, we are transforming the way care is delivered not only in Columbus, but across the country and around the world. We have developed one of the largest and fastest growing research institutes in the country, and we are recruiting some of the best and brightest physicians who are developing new cures and treatments that are benefiting children everywhere.
Nationwide not only supports my volunteerism in the community, but encourages it.
We transform lives at critical moments because we're a company that cares.
Hi, I'm Stacie Ricklefs, Beacon of Life's Events and Marketing Coordinator. Isn't it touching to hear these personal stories by not only our Cake Gala honorees, but also our Executive Director? Hearing how they've overcome these obstacles in their life is definitely a reason to celebrate. And while we're celebrating, let's celebrate the amazing cake designers and the cakes they brought for us tonight. Have you seen that pumpkin cake? Or how about the strawberry seltzer cake? Or how about the creme brulee cake? I was hoping to go home with one, but now I'm a little worried that I might go home with a couple. At this time, we also like to honor our Cake of the Year winner from last year. But with things being different, we'd like to invite the winner from last year, as well as this year's winner, back so we can award them that award at next year's gala. Make sure you get your votes in for this year's Cake of the Year winner in before 8 p.m. Also ending at 8 p.m. is our silent auction. This year we've got some great items and experiences. The bike basket is always a popular one. And last year, my husband surprised me by winning it for me. Hopefully, while he's at home watching and doing his bidding, he's thinking of me. If only there was a way that he would know what I might be interested in. Before I introduce our last speaker, I'd like to thank the Board of Directors. They stepped in during this last pandemic and always made sure our needs were met. Thank you to Travis for the 3.5 years he served as president. And thank you to Jill for all you've done since taking over that role. And with that being said, I'd like to introduce you to our board president, Jill Niswander.
Thank you for joining us for Cake Gala 2020 tonight. Needless to say, this isn't how we imagined celebrating the 40th anniversary of the Beacon of Life. But just like we do at the house, we're meeting the world where it's at, we're using the resources we have, and we're planning for a brighter future. My name is Jill Niswander, and I'm the president of the board at the Beacon of Life. This is my 5th year on the board, and I've been so proud of the work that we've been able to accomplish during this time. As of July 2020, we have a full board of directors for the first time in many years. I'm really looking forward to seeing what this group of committed individuals can do when we work together. One thing we all have in common this year is that COVID-19 has changed the course of our lives. It's changed how we work, how we learn, communicate, socialize, and protect our health. The Beacon of Life is no different from that. COVID-19 has been a game changer for us. We went from having a full house at our 34-bed facility with a 3 to 4 month wait list to having as few as 9 women in residence at times. To say that this has felt different for us would be an understatement. But I have been really impressed at how we've navigated these difficult times together and focused on keeping the health and safety of our clients and staff as our #1 priority. On top of all of that, we've also had a lot of change in leadership at the Beacon. As Keisha moved on to a new opportunity this year, we welcomed Melissa as our new executive director. She brings a broad range of experience in business and mental health, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where she leads us as we start this new adventure together. We also have a completely new executive committee on the board of directors. That's a lot of change in the course of a year, but I'm really encouraged at the work we've done over the past few months to be stronger than ever as we move forward. I hope that you're enjoying the program tonight. I know that it's always a highlight when our women bravely come before us and share their stories. Those stories resonate with us because they're ones of strife and overcoming, of healing and heartbreak. Those stories appeal to all of us. We love a triumph story. But it struck me this year, I think for the first time, as I was thinking about our event this fall, about what a big ask that is. Do we really understand what it takes to stand in front of a group of people and talk about your worst mistakes, about moments of shame? Do we really appreciate what we ask for when we ask for a story to inspire us to give? So here's a story meant to inspire. It is meant to soften your heart and encourage you to give. And in an act of solidarity with our women here tonight and those at the house, this story is mine. I met my husband when I was 18 and became a full-time mom to his daughter at the age of 21. We've been together 22 years, and every single one of those years has been filled with love, but also disappointment, frustration, and a lot of recommitment. I struggled for 3 years with infertility and felt a sense of failure that I hadn't encountered to that point, nor have experienced since. And now that I am a mother, many times over, I struggle every single day to be the mom that my kids deserve and one that I feel I cannot be some days. I literally struggle every single day to not lose myself in them while simultaneously giving them everything I have. We struggle with mental illness in my family. We struggle with sobriety. We have struggled through depression, anxiety and addiction, fear, anger, and resentment. We struggle, and yet we go on. We go on by putting one foot in front of the other and just doing the next right thing. We apologize and forgive. We cry. We laugh. We rely on our support network. We rely on my parents. We rely on therapy, medication. We rely on God. And we rely on these things that are outside of ourselves because this is where all of our stories turn out the same. We cannot do this alone. I don't do this alone, and you don't either. Life isn't hard because we're doing it wrong, it's just hard. And when it gets hard, we reach for those resources that sustain us. Family, friends, faith, sometimes therapy and doctors. So if you ask someone tonight what Beacon of Life does, you might get an answer that sounds something like our mission statement. And that's great, it's a good one. But I also hope that you hear something like, we're building bench strength for our women. We are helping women erect supports and build foundations for moving forward. Because when our women leave the Beacon, their troubles aren't over. Life is going to continue to come at them. But what I hope they have today, that maybe they didn't have before, is a deep bench of support. People who cheer them on, ones who offer support and also accountability, and people who are willing to remind them of who they are when they've forgotten. I know that I've asked for that kind of support from my bench more times than I can count. The point of this evening is to raise money to support this work. It is no secret that we're asking you to contribute tonight. But if you're wondering what your donation does when you give, this is the stuff we're talking about. We're building foundations. We're building bench strength. We're empowering a group of women to know that they are not on this journey alone and that no one expects them to be. We were all built for community, designed to share this life full of success and struggle. If you've got a story of your own, maybe one with a little bit of grit to it, I hope that you give tonight. If you've ever had to reach outside yourself to keep moving forward, please donate. And if you've ever watched a loved one rise above and persevere, tonight would be an amazing opportunity to give in their honor. We are building positive, sustainable change at the Beacon of Life, and we can't do it without you. Your donation tonight means a lot to the women at the house and to those of us who are still surviving our own stories. Thank you for your donation and your generosity.
Thank you, Jill, for sharing that message with us. It's so brave to be able to get up here and share your personal experience, and it's so obvious to me where your passion for the Beacon comes from. I'm just honored to work with you on our executive board this year, continue to learn from you, and in light of that speech, I'm probably going to have to review my personal donations a little bit to make sure they're in line with what we need. So we really appreciate you coming to our event and participating with that message. We're getting close to the end of the evening, guys. If that speech fired you up, if all of these speeches have fired you up and you're sitting there wondering, what more can I do? There's plenty of options. In our Givey app, there is a place for you to be able to just make a donation. Anything helps, but please feel free to visit that. There's also our website. If you don't have the Givey app on your phone, there's a donate link on our website, and you'll also see that come through any email communications with us. Again, no gift is too small, $5, $10, whatever you've got to pitch in, everything helps. And of course, there's our Fund a Need. So please review those items on the Fund a Need program, see if anything is $5 to $10 away from being complete so that we can get those donations into the house and make an impact for our women. As we wrap this evening at 8 o'clock, the silent auction and the cake auction will both end at that time. Again, if you've won a cake, you're going to get a visitor at your door here soon to deliver that to you so that you can enjoy it tonight. So be watching for communication to make sure that we know where to find you so we can get that cake to you. If you also want a silent auction basket, we should be able to pair those items up and get them both to you this evening. However, if you've won a silent auction basket, but not a cake, we're not delivering all of those. There will be communication coming to you through email about pickup times for those items. Some of them are just digital items. It's 2020, everything's digital, everything's curbside now, so we'll be able to work through and email most of you some of those prizes as well, so pay attention to that. We want to thank Bruce Day and the Dangets for being our band this evening and giving us some music to get through. Of course, our wonderful board for sponsoring us and making sure that we've got everything we need to follow through with this mission. I'm honored to be a part of the board for Beacon of Life. I want to thank our event director, Stacie, Ricklefs, for helping put this all together. We've worked tirelessly to make sure the Cake Gala experience was not altered due to 2020. We've done the best we can, and I hope that you've enjoyed celebrating with us tonight. Again, to our presenting sponsor, Nationwide, we adore your support. We couldn't do this without you. All of our corporate sponsors, which you'll see on our slides and our emails, we just appreciate so much having you all behind us. It's so important to be a strong part of our community as the Beacon of Life, and knowing that we have all of your support makes that possible. So as we move forward and look towards Cake Gala 2021, make sure you're voting for that Cake of the Year so we can honor those honorees when we all get back together next fall. Again, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for your support. We couldn't do it without you. And cheers to Cake Gala 2020. Thanks, everybody.